What's going on, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome back to the channel. I do hope you're doing well. Thank you for stopping by. I appreciate it as ever. Before we get into the video, if you haven't done so already, if you could click the subscribe button. If you're new, also as well, just smash a like on the video as well for me. If you've got any comments that you would like to put on the video, please feel free, put them on. Happy to hear from absolutely everybody and your thoughts and everything and stuff like that. So, let's get into it. Football's an easy game, isn't it? The fun thing about football is just in terms of opinions and ideas that they can all go out the window. It's lovely when you play a game of football that everything, I mean everything, goes to plan and everything goes how it's supposed to go. People play in exactly the right way that they're supposed to play. Everything else is just spot on and really, really good fun. I said in my last video that I thought that it was either going to be we would get absolutely trounced by Ipswich or we would win a tight 1-0. Little did I know that the team had different ideas, and I couldn't be happier with regards to what happened and how we played and everything like that. So overall, I'm incredibly happy with the result and the way that the game actually went. So I'm just, you know, when you're just in shock because you weren't expecting it, because we hadn't been playing as well as what we could have been doing for kind of like the last couple of games, 2 or 3 games actually, if we're all being honest. And I said that, and I always say maintain the same thing, which is that if we're on it from the start, we are pretty much unstoppable. And I mean that with all of the love and respect to any other team that we play against. If we are absolutely on our game, we are just, we're the best side in the Championship, I think. And that's, again, probably a little bit biased because I'm a Leeds United fan, but as it just runs through, that's just generally how I feel. The way we moved, the way we pressed, the way we hunted after the ball, the way that we passed the ball, just everything was brilliant. You've got the first goal, which comes from the corner, great save from the keeper, and then Strout's there to head it in. Second goal is the own goal. Poor old Leaf Davis, Agent Leaf, thank you very much. Very good, Davis, very good. Then the third goal, which is the penalty, which we all thought Perot was going to take, and then some of us went, no, I've got this. And that, if you're going to take a penalty, that's how you take a penalty, for God's sakes. Jesus, you could have had 4 keepers in that goal. It wouldn't have saved it. And then you've got Perot who comes up with his goal. Great feet for the 4th goal. Great build-up play as well. Perot loses it halfway in the build-up, but then Rutter, who... That's the type of Jorginho Rutter I want to see playing week in, week out. That type of Rutter is the type of Rutter that I need to see week in, week out playing every single game. 100%. Brilliant, brilliant, brilliant game. Just the Rutter with the left and then the right touch, and then just sort of like the almost toe poke swoop of the ball into the bottom corner, and it's 4-0 and the game's done. The game's done and dusted in like it just... before the 60th minute. It's brilliant. Absolutely brilliant. I didn't get to watch the game from start to finish. Excuse me, I didn't get to watch the game at all because I was taking my son out to his little sort of Christmas thing that we do. So we went to go and see Santa and go do some Christmas bits and pieces. So I was kind of keeping a check online on Twitter, as you do, just looking through the bits and pieces, and it was it was Phil Hayes' tweet that turned around and said, it's a fucking rout. That's a professional journalist that's saying that. I don't think anybody expected us to play as well as what we did, and I've got nothing but just absolute praise for the squad, for the managers, and for the way that we actually played. And I think one of the things that I did want to point was in all the highlights that I've seen, it was quite evident in this game that there was a lot of interchanging and switching going on between Peru and Rutter. There seemed to be that kind of switching of positions a little bit quite constantly, because there were quite a few times where Peru actually got into the box, which he hasn't been doing very much. And he did it in this game. And just overall, it was just a fantastic game. And just from a statistical point of view, as I like to try and do, just little things that I was really impressed with. So on whoscored.com, was just looking at the overall top performers within that game. So all 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. All 5 of the top performers in that game are Leeds players. Rodon got 7.6, Pirro got 7.8, Strout got 7.8, Spence got 7.9, had a good game, special mention for Spence, and Gray again, Gray, it's just brilliant. Somerville, 8.4, head and shoulders above everybody else. And then you look at the most shots within the game. Pirro had 3, Archie Gray had 2, Strout had 1 goal, Rutter had 1, and Somerville had 1, just his penalty that he put in as well. Then you look at things like, tackles. So Spence was leading the way. Spence and Ampadu leading the way with tackles. And then you've got the 3 Ipswich players. And then in terms of dribbles, again, Spence, 4 dribbles completed. Somerville, 2. Nonto, 2. And then you had Broadhead and Morsey from Ipswich that had a couple of dribbles on there as well. So one of the things that whoscored.com like to do is they like to tell you about strengths and weaknesses. So Leeds' strengths are written down as: were effective at creating goal-scoring opportunities from through balls, were effective at creating goal-scoring opportunities from long shot situations, and were strong at finishing. And then you've got Ipswich, and I swear to God, this is what it says on the website. I'm not making this up. It says team has no significant strengths. And then weaknesses. Leeds team has no significant weaknesses. Get in. Just what a performance. And then the weaknesses for Ipswich: they were poor at finishing, were aggressive, gave away a lot of free kicks around the box, committed a high number of individual errors. Styles-wise, Leeds was attacked down the left side, favoured through balls, and then for Ipswich it was played with width, favoured long shots, favoured through balls. So when you look at it, we had 10 shots, 5 in open play, 2 set pieces, 1 from a counter-attack, 1 from a penalty, and 1 was an own goal. And Ipswich had 2 in open play. That was it. Our conversion rate was 40%, which is really, really, really good. So Spence and Somerville had a really good game in terms of attacking on the left-hand side. And then when you look at it in terms of shot directions, 60% of our shots came from the middle and 40% came from the right-hand side, whereas with Ipswich, 100% came from the middle. And if you remember me saying in the video previously that Ipswich do favour that, they favour that shot through the middle. Shot zone-wise, now this is a really interesting stat, because what I mentioned is that what I noticed in the statistical analysis is that Ipswich's shots come from, or all of their shots come from within the 18-yard box normally. For this game in particular, they had 0% in the 18-yard box and 0% in the 6-yard box and 100% outside of the box. If you remember, I said one of the key things that we have to do as a team, as a defence, is defend that 18-yard box and stop them from getting shots within the box or within the 6-yard box and within the 18-yard box. And we did that absolutely brilliantly. You can't be more pleased in terms of how that actually played out. So with us, it was 22% outside the box, 56% in the 18-yard box, and 22% in the 6-yard box, which, just brilliant in terms of overall play and the way that it works. So we worked it quite well. I'm just really pleased that that thing that I mentioned in terms of defending our penalty area from shots proved to be absolutely right. Absolutely right. Action zone wise, 75% of the actual game itself was played middle third and in the away end, pretty much. So overall, we were dominant throughout the entire game. In terms of player positions, so the player position stats quite interesting actually. So we literally just had the 2 in defence, so Strauchen and Rodon, and then we had literally across the middle, Spence, Camera, Ampadu, Spence, Camera, Ampadu, Gray, and also looking at the front line constantly was. Sorry, Piru was in there as well, so I can't read their own thing. So the middle of the field was Gray, Piru, Ampadu, Camera, and then Spence, and then the front three of Somerville, who was furthest forward overall, Rutter in the middle, and then James on the wing. So that was quite interesting. It was almost like we were playing a 2-5-3 for the majority of the game, and this is the big difference. Ipswich was 3 at the back, 2 in the centre of the park, and then 1, 2, 3, 4 just in front with a striker just up the top end as well. So what they quite clearly tried to do at a certain point was pack in the midfield, and it just didn't work. There was too much in terms of overall people slap bang in the centre of midfield, and we were able to expose them on the wings constantly, and that just worked really, really well. The good thing about this now is that we have the potential now to be 4 points behind them as they go into their next game against Leicester, and that's going to be a tough game. So, said it before, I'll say it again, slowly, creeping up, chipping away, got to get the points, but this will be for nothing if we don't do the business against Preston, and we have to do the business against Preston. We have to keep the momentum going, and I don't know, it kind of feels like there was a bit of a turning point on Saturday. And the one thing that a lot of people have picked out as well is that the atmosphere was really, really good at the weekend, which I would agree with. I thought that the atmosphere was pretty good from what I watched and reviewed, and watching all the various sort of reviews that I've seen. Just an overall brilliant game. You can't praise the lads enough, and you can't praise Farker enough for what he actually managed to get them to do. And it was, dominant. And just a special mention for the Ipswich Town fans. We haven't got a £200 million squad or a £100 million squad that's out there on the pitch. Just take your salt. You've been giving it the big un for ages. It's little old Ipswich. We're still 7 points clear, and we've beaten you twice this season. There's nothing else left to be said than that. We've beaten you twice this season, fair and square. Everybody that I've spoken to has nothing but respect for what Ipswich are doing and how they're playing and how they've performed and their position within the league. If they get second and go up, they've earned it. Absolutely fair. You can't knock them for that at all. But just to see some of the Ipswich Town fans' reaction to the loss and the stuff that they're saying, and it's always the same thing, like, oh, I'm just fishing for bites and it's really nice because of all the bites that I'm getting from this. It's like, no, just have a little bit of humility. You've been a dick. It's as simple as that. Just take it. The Ipswich manager was appalling in the meeting as well. You don't get free kicks for your players throwing themselves to the floor. It's as simple as that. Play to the whistle. It's the oldest rule in the book. Play to the whistle. At the end of the day, your team was dominated by us. We made the domination count. We were clinical, and we did absolutely everything that we were supposed to do as we were supposed to do it. Hence why we were 4-0 winners. There's nothing else to say other than that. And, oh, God, as well, yes, Rutter did not cost £35 million. It goes up to £35 million due to incentives and add-ons and everything and such. It's not there at the moment, but he wasn't a £35 million striker. Just please, can you just get that out of your head a little bit for me, please? Again, nothing but respect for Ipswich and what they've done, but they are the saltiest fan base I've seen in a long, long time. And I'm sorry, but I'm just going to gloat. We were brilliant at the weekend. Nothing else left to say. That's going to do it for this one. Again, if you're not subscribed, if you could hit the subscribe button. If you're new to the channel, if you could also hit the like button as well. And any comments on there, feel free. I'd really appreciate it. Like I said, that's going to do it for this one. A Merry Christmas from me and my family over to yours. Thank you to everybody that has supported me on this short journey since the start of the season, since I started making videos for this channel. My first goal is getting closer, which would be 100 subscribers, which would be really great if we could achieve that at some point soon. But to anybody that watches the videos, I really appreciate it. I wish you nothing but health, wealth, and happiness. And I will speak to you all soon. Thanks as ever. Take care. Cheers.